Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to a new video. In this video, I want to talk about the real estate economy. Is it a good time to buy real estate? Is the real estate market going to crash? For those people who are new to the channel, I want you to know that I've been investing in real estate since 2012. And since I've been investing in real estate, there has never been a real estate crash or recession. The last big crash or recession we had was in 2008. I wasn't in the game yet. I still was in college. So I haven't really been through a full cycle. I know a lot of people, they got a lot of opinions on real estate and if it's going to crash or not, when they never even, been through a crash, or they haven't been through a full cycle to even know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to give y'all my opinion on what I think is going to happen. Is it a good time to buy real estate? Things of that nature. Is there going to be a real estate crash, a recession, or anything of that nature? In my opinion, y'all, I'm not an economist or nothing like that, but in my opinion, no. I don't think that's going to happen for many reasons. I will say, when it comes to the commercial side, specifically big office buildings, malls, things of that nature, they will take a hit. Only because of the times we live in now. I think since the pandemic hit, things have changed. I know when I was working my 9 to 5, I had to report to an office building, a big office building downtown Washington, D.C. It was a federal building. Me and thousands of employees had to go there every day. And then we transitioned into working remotely. So you got all these, big businesses and corporations, they are paying 10, 20, 30,000 a month for these big office buildings where now it's no need for them no more. We realize that we now can be more efficient and most of us can do our jobs from the comfort of our home. So the need of the building in that capacity is no longer needed no more. So in my opinion, and this has been happening already all across the country, these buildings are now being converted to big apartment buildings. So when it comes to the aspect of, them being used as an office building, that's kind of not relevant no more. And they're now transitioning to big apartment buildings. Now, let's talk about malls real quick and big shopping centers. And I'm not sure if this is a nationwide thing, but where I live at, which is the DMV area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, the shopping malls it's like a ghost town now, most of them. You maybe one or two that are still pretty packed. When you go to shopping malls now where I live at, and I actually been reading a couple articles in different areas as well, people are not going to the mall like they used to. The mall used to be a place where you could hang out at, even go on a date at. They have movie theaters, things of that nature, even the movie theaters. Like when it comes to these big commercial shopping centers, they're not as lucrative as there once was because the times we live in, again, you don't have to leave your house to really do much of anything no more. Where Amazon, just going crazy. I know for me, man, me going to a grocery store or me going to a shopping mall, it rarely happens no more. And the last time I went, it really was nobody there. And I think investors and people who own these shopping malls, they definitely feeling it. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to these shopping malls, if they're going to be converted into apartment buildings. But in my opinion, when it comes to the real estate, just the real estate economy in general, they are the ones that's being affected the most. When it comes to residential real estate, in 2020, 2021, and even some parts in the half of 2022, prices went through the roof. So in areas like, before I even say anything, when it comes to real estate, man, it's so market specific. The areas that's always been popping, nothing is going to happen. Manhattan is going to be Manhattan. Washington, D.C. is going to be Washington, D.C. And these areas that's always been super desirable, they're not really going to get affected as much as, some of these markets where they had no business being at the prices they were at. If you look at a place like California, right? California always been expensive in 2020, 2021, and half of 2022. It just made it 10 times worse. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but the average house in that area was probably around $800,000. That's not affordable to the typical person. The wages doesn't keep up with the prices of these homes. Those houses right now, they probably are getting slightly price decreases, but they already was expensive to begin with. Interest rate going from 3 to 6 to 7%, it just makes it super unaffordable, y'all. We're not building enough houses to keep up with the pace of the population. Like right now in 2023, man, the human race in the United States is growing rapidly, and we can't keep up with that. I read back in the 1970s, right? It used to be on average about 420,000 houses being built every single year. Now, only 65,000 houses are being built every year. More and more people are being born. The human race is growing extremely fast. That's why, we even have a problem with homelessness. It's just not enough houses being built, which is why I said the commercial office buildings downtown in a lot of areas are now being converted into, big apartment buildings. Now, we got to talk about home ownership. Is it a good time to buy? And listen, I don't care if you want to buy as an investor or you want to buy as a homeowner. And I tell people all the time, bare minimum, y'all, I don't care what none of these internet gurus talking about. You should buy your house that you're actually going to live in. We're not renting. And don't get me wrong, there are some exceptions to why renting may make more sense. But for the typical person, buying and owning your primary residence is a smart thing. It's usually smarter than renting in any situation, period. But let's use an example, right? Big problem we have is, we think that 6-7% interest rates is high. It's not. That's normal. That's typical. That's where it should be at. Part of the reason we having this inflation problem and that we are in the state we in now is because of the interest rates being so low for the past 5 years at 2, 3, 4%. My primary residence right now, my interest rate only 2.75%. So I did take advantage of that. For those who didn't and they thinking it's going to go back down to that, it's not. It's going to be no time soon, y'all. One of the biggest issues that we're having right now is that the prices are high as well as the interest rates. So back in 2020, 2021, the interest rates was low, which was why people were selling their houses at a higher price. So you would think that now that the interest rates are higher, people will lower the price, which they're not trying to lower the price, and it's causing an issue. And which is why, some people were saying that is a housing shortage, whereas though in some areas people are seeing price decreases, they think that a real estate market is going to crash. No, the reasons why it crashed in 2008 is not the same reasons why they think it's going to crash now. 2008, it was bad loans. They was qualifying anybody. You can make $50,000 a year getting qualified for a $700,000 house. You can't afford it. And they was doing different kind of loans, balloon payments, adjustable rate loans, and all that type of stuff. And then that's why it was so many foreclosures. That's completely different than what's going on now. People actually have a lot of equity in their house because these properties they're not decreasing in value. It's just that it's the interest rates that's making the biggest difference in why people are screaming real estate crash, real estate crash. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the time to buy a house is right now. I don't care if it's an investment property. I don't care if it's your primary house. We're not waiting. The interest rates is not going back down to 2, 3%. If it do, it's not gonna be no time soon, and we're not waiting that long. Listen, I don't think people understand why real estate is so important. You just buying a house, and especially if you're going to live in it. If you know you're going to live in it for 10, 15 years, this is just really not a concern for you. Holding any piece of real estate for 10 to 15 years, it's going to be worth probably double what you paid for it in 10 to 15 years. So buy that house, y'all. If you are capable of buying some property right now, buy it. We're not waiting for interest rates to go down. It's not going down. You're going to be highly upset when that house that was $300K today is now going to be $500K in 5 years from now, and you didn't take advantage of when it was $300K because you waiting for interest rates to go down, y'all. That's my 2 or 3 cents, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to real estate. I'm always buying, y'all. I'm always looking for deals. Now, if you want the investor side, your numbers still got to work. We're not just buying it just to buy it when it comes to the investor side. If you plan on buying it for a primary residence and you plan on being there for 15, 20, 30 years, whatever, the price really, I'm not going to lie, it really don't matter. It really don't, y'all. Again, that's my 2 cents. Y'all take it how y'all want, man. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Let's get it.